Hi everyone, welcome to DIY Ideas. Today I want to show you a scarf that looks like it's knitted, but it's actually been crocheted. So you can see here the structure, it's what you would expect from knitted projects. So yeah, I'm really excited to show you this. This also has some fiber that basically reflects light, so it's going to be great and really fun to work with. So stay tuned. So here is the glowworm yarn, and we have here 100 grams, 110 meters, 54% acrylic, 30% wool, 16% glass fiber. That's what's going to reflect light in the dark. And yeah, it's for a 7 to 8 millimeter crocheting hook or knitting needles. We're going to crochet it today, but I'm going to use a little bit bigger needle or hook. So I'm going to do a 9 millimeter one. So I want it to be a little bit more fluffy, and that's why we're using a bigger one. So let's remove the label and we can find the beginning from the middle and we can get started. Also, additionally, today I have the measuring tape with me because I don't need a certain number of stitches, I just need a certain length. So I need a length of 55 to 60 centimeters. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, we can get started, but I'm not going to count the chains themselves. I'm going to measure the length as I said. So just make sure to do a little bit of it and then measure and see where you're at. And now we measure. Make sure you don't have any twists or knots or anything weird going on when you measure. And I think I have a bit over 60. Okay, 60, that's gonna be good. So we're gonna stop here and then we can close this up into a ring shape or a round since we're doing a loop scarf. So I need to make sure there are no twists on here, and then I'm gonna go from the first one to the last stitch and connect them with a slip stitch. So here, just make sure you take your time and check everything. And when you're sure there is nothing twisted, nothing weird going on, then you know you're gonna get a great scarf in the end as well. So when you find the beginning, you go into this first chain that we did, and you just do a slip stitch, which means you take the thread through, no yarns over, no anything complicated. So this is one of the simplest stitches you can do. And then you get this little ring shape, and that's exactly what we want since it's going to be a single loop. So now I'm going to show you how we can get started with the actual first row. So I'm going to go a little bit closer so that you can see better. And then we're going to do 2 chains for the height. Then we're going to do 1 round and half treble crochets, which means I'm going to take my yarn over, I'm going to go into the next stitch that I see, and I'm going to do a half treble crochet, which means through all 3 loops at once. And then I'm going to keep repeating that since we need half treble crochets for the entire first round. So I'm now here where I started, so where the 2 chains for the height were. And now what we're going to do is go here in this back section. So it's the back section of the second chain here for the height. You can see here on top. So actually 2 chains on here, you can see them on the bottom, and then the next section, we go behind it and we go in. We take our thread with us and we do a slip stitch there. That's how we connect. Then we're again going to take 2 chains for the height. We're going to take a yarn over, and now we're going to keep going into the back section of each stitch, and we're again going to do half treble crochets. So that way you get the effect here in the front that you get this little rib section that kind of stands out. So you see here what I mean, the V structures, and then of course as we keep going we're going to have more and more of them, and it's going to look knitted even though you see we're crocheting. So when you go here in the front and then you just move slightly to the back, that's where you're going to find the spot you need to go through. So it's always in the back of each stitch. That's how we're pushing the stitches to the front to form this rib style. So you can see the first rib here. And here is the first round with the pattern now. So you can see what we have. We have just the one rib done. Of course, we're going to have multiple as soon as we move on to the upcoming rounds. So I need my slip stitch, as always, the back section of the stitch above the 2 chains for the height, which also means that we need 2 more chains for the height for the upcoming round. And then we're going to keep doing the same thing. So go into the back of each stitch with a yarn over and do a half treble crochet. And this is going to be everything you're going to need for your scarf. So I'm going to do a little bit more and then I'll be back with an update. So here you can see the 2 ribs now, and they're basically going to stand one next to another. The more that we do, the more ribs we're going to have in the end, and that's the knitted style that I want. So I'll be back with an update. So after a while, this is what I have, and I'm really satisfied with the way it looks. So you can see here it really does look like we knitted it, although we actually crocheted it. So if you're a crocheter and not a knitter, you can still get the same style. And yeah, I think it looks lovely. I do have a little bit here to go, and I'm going to use this leftover yarn for the end row and round. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to change the stitches there a little bit. So we're starting with the last round now. So I'm not going to do half trebles anymore, instead I'm going to do single crochets. Also into the back of the stitch, but instead of half trebles we're doing singles. That way we're going to give a little bit stronger ending here, so that way it's going to mimic the beginning chains that we started with. And that way you can see here that it's going to look a little bit different from the half trebles. So as I said, it's just going to help the entire scarf keep its shape a little bit better and have sturdier beginning and ending round. So here I am again. You can see here the last row that I did. So now I have just a bit of yarn left over and I'm pretty much done. So I'm going to shorten this. I don't need a lot, and I'm going to pull out, and then I'm going to show you a little trick how you can hide where you began or stopped. So we're going to go into the following stitch, the one after the chain that, or the single that we just did here. We're going to take our yarn with us. Then we're going to go back into our single that we did, the last one, pull the stitch or the yarn through that stitch, and that way we kind of hid with a tiny trick where we began and stopped. So everything that we need to do now is weave in the ending as well as the beginning, and we are done. So this is a single loop here that you can see. It's pretty fluffy. It's really stretchy, and you can see here the lovely ribs. So even if you prefer crocheting but like the style of knitted projects, this is how you can achieve it with an alternative method. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to shoot a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, make sure to do that, and click on the notification bell as well so that you don't miss any videos that we post. Thanks for watching. See you in our next project. Bye!